Feeling drained after a big meal can look like weak willpower, but the first mistake often happens before any walk begins. Bread, rice, or a sweet drink lands on an empty stomach and moves fast. The fix is not skipping carbs. Start with fiber, add protein and healthy fat, then eat starch last. That order can flatten the spike before dinner steals your energy tonight again. A large meal can push glucose upward quickly, especially when refined starch arrives first. Some people see numbers near 140 soon after eating. That number is not always an emergency. The pattern matters when it repeats with sleepiness, cravings, or higher fasting readings. The crash usually starts with speed. Fast glucose entry makes the pancreas release insulin quickly. Insulin helps move sugar from blood into cells. When the swing is steep, your brain may feel the drop as fog, hunger, or sudden fatigue. Most people blame only carbohydrates. They promise to quit rice, pasta, bread, or potatoes forever. That plan often fails by the next stressful dinner. The smarter move is not deleting one food group. It is changing which food reaches your stomach first. I'm Dr. Kim, a licensed physician. This is not medical advice. Consult your doctor. The key controller is stomach emptying speed. This means how quickly food leaves the stomach and enters the small intestine. Refined carbohydrates digest fast once they arrive there. Fast delivery creates a fast rise. Slower delivery usually creates a gentler curve. That is why Wegovy, semaglutide, and Zepbound, tirzepatide, matter in weight treatment. They can slow stomach emptying and reduce appetite. Food order cannot copy medication, but it uses the same basic direction: slower entry, smaller peak, and less pressure on insulin. Walking after meals still helps. Active muscles pull glucose from the blood and use it as fuel. The problem is timing. If the meal was built to spike immediately, a walk often arrives late. It becomes cleanup, not prevention. That does not make walking useless. It means walking should not be your only defense. A 10-minute walk after dinner is useful, but the strongest move happens before the plate is empty. You change the traffic pattern before the sugar rush begins. Start with fiber. Vegetables, beans, lentils, chia, or a salad create bulk inside the gut. Soluble fiber forms a soft gel. That gel slows contact between starch and digestive enzymes. It is like building a speed bump before the traffic arrives. Timing changes the protection. Eating vegetables beside rice is better than eating no vegetables, but eating them first is stronger. The protective layer must be present early. Otherwise, the first wave of starch reaches the intestine without much resistance. A healthy label does not protect you from a bad sequence. Brown rice first can spike more than rice eaten last. Fruit juice before protein can hit faster than dessert after dinner. Your body reacts to delivery speed, not just the name on the food. Protein comes next. Eggs, fish, chicken, tofu, Greek yogurt, or lean meat make the meal more stable. Protein triggers fullness signals from the gut. It also slows stomach emptying. Healthy fats like olive oil or avocado can strengthen that effect. Now the carbohydrates come last. Rice, potatoes, noodles, bread, and dessert enter a slower system. They are not banned, they are delayed. That delay can stretch absorption across a longer window instead of forcing one sharp rise. A smaller peak matters more than a perfect-looking plate. If you can keep the same foods and change the order, the habit becomes sustainable. Restriction fights your appetite. Sequence works with your biology. This is why the method survives real life. You can also change starch before it reaches the plate. Cooked rice or potatoes form more resistant starch after cooling. Resistant starch is harder to digest. Reheating may keep some of that benefit. It will not cancel the meal, but it can soften the impact. This matters most with heavy side dishes. A large bowl of hot white rice behaves differently from a smaller serving eaten last. Cold potato salad can behave differently from fresh mashed potatoes. Portion still matters, but structure changes the response. Many healthy eaters get fooled here. Oatmeal with honey, fruit, and juice can overwhelm the system. The same oatmeal after eggs and nuts may behave differently. The ingredients did not change much. The delivery speed changed. A plate can look clean and still lack a buffer. Fiber first, protein second, starch last is the map. Without that buffer, even a clean meal can act like a glucose bomb. The first layer decides whether starch enters a crowded road or an open highway. Restaurants make this harder. Bread arrives before protein, chips arrive before the main course, sweet drinks arrive before anything solid. Those first bites can create the biggest problem because they land on an empty stomach with no buffer. You do not need a dramatic scene at the table. Decline the bread basket. Order a side salad first. Ask for vegetables before the main plate. Choose water or unsweetened tea so the first 10 minutes of digestion change. Vinegar can help some meals, but it is not magic. Mild acid may slow starch breakdown slightly. It should not replace fiber or protein. Avoid vinegar if it worsens reflux, affects your teeth, or conflicts with your doctor's advice. Meal timing also matters. Skipping all day can make dinner harder to handle. A starved system often responds aggressively to a large night meal. A small protein snack before dinner can reduce that shock for some people. Sleep changes the same system. One poor night can make insulin work less effectively the next day. Your cells may resist taking up sugar cleanly. Then the same dinner can create a larger rise. 7 steady hours protects the plan. Liquid sugar is the fastest mistake. Sweet tea, soda, juice, and flavored coffee can bypass the normal break of chewing. They deliver carbohydrate quickly. A drink can raise glucose before the meal even begins. Water is the safer default. Your evening fatigue is also a warning sign, not a character flaw. It often tells you the curve was too steep. Repeating that pattern can train cravings at night. A flatter curve makes restraint easier because the brain stops demanding rescue calories. Muscle is the long-term storage tank. Active muscle has room to store more glucose after meals. Strength training and regular walking keep that tank useful. Sedentary muscle becomes a crowded closet. Then extra sugar stays in circulation longer. Build the meal correctly first, then use movement as support. Sleep enough, avoid liquid sugar, and train muscle over time. Each habit protects a different part of the curve. The first bite still starts the whole chain. That is where the easiest win sits. You should notice the simplest signal first, less post-meal exhaustion. The goal is not fear of food. The goal is a calmer response from the same body. A calmer curve means less hunger, less fog, and less pressure on the pancreas. So tonight, do not begin with bare starch. Begin with fiber, continue with protein and healthy fat, then finish with carbohydrates. Keep portions reasonable and walk after dinner when you can. The order will not replace medical care, but it can make your daily glucose curve much easier to control. Medicine simplified. That's what this channel does. If you want more, hit subscribe. This is not medical advice. Consult your doctor.